everybody, I'm merisusheep, and thank you so much for checking out this video. And this video is one of two that are meant to celebrate a very important time in my YouTube career, and that is my 10th anniversary!
Yay!
I've been on YouTube for 10 years, and I haven't really gone anywhere. But nonetheless, I've had a lot of fun doing this whole YouTube thing, and I knew that I would have to draw something very special for the occasion. So I came up with this concept of my original characters, but then I realized that I just couldn't do just my original characters. So I also put out a poll asking people what they would like to see, and the one that got the most votes, I'm happy to say, was fan art of Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL, which is what I'm doing here. And I am drawing Yuma, Astral, Kaito Tenjo, or Kite Tenjo, Shark, aka Ryoga Kamishiro, ever known as Reginald Castle, and Kotori Mizuki, aka Tori Meadows, from, well, Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL. Fun fact, for those who do not know me for very long, or have just, like, seen this channel, like, this is your first video you've ever seen, period, in which case, hi! I'm merisusheep. But I've actually, a long time ago, I was Ryo Kamishiro Meilu Kaila. I used to have a different channel, and that was the name of it. And I used to do very, very bad singing on it. I also did some, like, AMVs that were very sad, pathetic, sorry attempts for AMVs, because back then, folks, I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a microphone, I didn't even have a screen recorder like OBS, so I did every single thing with my brother's 3DS. I didn't even have my own 3DS for a long time. I had my brother's, and I had to use his. So if I was gonna make an AMV, how I would do it is I would look up the YouTube videos, find every little single part that I was going to put on there, and then mute them all, and then play the music on a separate YouTube video, and then push play on one of them and have my 3DS propped up to record. And that's how my stupid AMVs were made. And my songs were not that much different. I would look up the off vocal, and then I would look up the official video, and I would just, like, have it right there. And it was very horrible. It was very low quality and such, and that was my life. That was my channel. But after seeing a lot of Mark Corelli videos from, well, the YouTube Mark Corelli, I really wanted to get back into art, and I wanted to try this whole entire anime thing. I was starting to really get into anime. I've always been watching anime here and there, but I never was, like, consider myself, like, an anime fan. Like, watching Pokemon, watching, Superbook, watching Mega Man, like, those are just shows that I watch. But around this time, I started becoming a real fan of anime, and so I started doing some anime fan art, and I wanted to try to do it on my YouTube channel. And of course, the first anime that I picked was Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL. At the time when I started my YouTube channel, Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL was pretty much come to an end. Arc V was about to come up, and I really was missing ZEXAL. I loved ZEXAL so much, and I just really wanted to draw some fan art of it. And the very first fan art that I did was of, well, these characters. I did Yuma, Ryoga, Kaito, and Kotori. I didn't do Astral because he was not in the fan art that I was doing wasn't really fan art. It was just a redraw of the World Do Carnival DS game that came out. So I was just drawing that, and Astral wasn't featured in that picture, so I did not draw him.
Flashback.
Hello everybody, I'm Ryo Kamishiro Meilu Kaila, and I'm going to be showing you my way of drawing Yuma, Ryoga Kamishiro, Kotori Mizuno, and Kite Tenjo from the anime Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL. This is my first time drawing, and I don't have any fancy lights, so what's coming through the window right now is sunlight, and as you can see, I didn't want to mess up, so I already put the pencil lining down. I will be showing you how to do the inking and the coloring. For the coloring, I will be using colored pencils, markers, and a little bit of paints. So this will be a real mixed media picture, and the design for the picture came off the box art of the video game, and here's what it looks like. So hopefully mine will look something like that. Probably not. because I suck as an artist, but I do love to draw, and I want to show you guys one of my favorite hobbies right next to singing. So I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions or any thing to say, please do so in the comment section below, and I will be glad to hear it. So let's get started. And this video will also be in time-lapse too, so no narration, and it will not be slow, so sorry about that. I hope you enjoy though.
End of flashback.
That was the very first artwork that I ever had on my YouTube channel. And then later on down the line, I created a secondary YouTube channel. It was just supposed to be a secondary account for fun. But then I actually decided I'll put my artwork on this channel that I named Saika Ichigo Kamishiro, and my music and stuff will all stay on my main channel. But then I realized the music idea wasn't a good idea. So I decided to just discontinue it, and I decided to put all my efforts into making an art channel, and I'm very happy with that. And I did a lot of speed draws, and then later on I started doing speed paints, and even on this channel the first artwork that I did was of the Arclight brothers from Yui-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL.
Flashback.
Hello everybody, I'm Sayoko Ichigo Kamishiro, and today I'm going to be showing you how to draw my favorite characters from the anime Yui-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL, V, Thor, and Free, or Quattros, Quintus, and Trey. Well, there it is, my picture of the Arclight brothers. I hope you enjoyed this video. As you can see, I cutted it out and I wasn't fully dry, and wet paper doesn't cut. So it kind of got a little torn at the ends. But other than that, it's all done, and I hope you enjoyed this video.
End of flashback.
Because I really did like them when I was a teen. They were my childhood crushes, or my teenage crushes. Boy, has my taste in men changed over the years. Not that I don't like their characters still, but, you know, not really what comes to my mind anymore.
Meanwhile.
And my like for Bruce Banner has nothing to do with my weird taste in men. Okay, that's a lie.
So I was like, my first artwork on my old channel was Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL artwork. My first artwork on this channel was Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL fan art. So, of course, I had to do it again. And I actually already had the sketch planned. That's why you actually see, that's why I didn't do this, like, showing of the drawings of the basic body frames, because I had them planned all the way back in 2021, because this was originally supposed to be fan art for the Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL 10th anniversary, and I was going to release it, and it was going to be really big and grand. Like, in the front would be Yuma and Astral, and then in the background you would have like 4 different panels, and each panel would be dedicated to a different arc, a different antagonist. So the first one would be Kaito, Dr. Faker, and Mr. Heartland, and the second one would be Grotch and Droid and Mr. Heartland, he would be in that one. And then the next one would be the Arclight family, and the next one would be the Barian Emperors, well, specifically Mizar, Garach, and Leto, since those are the ones that you first see. And then it would be Deber, Vector, and Nash, and Marag in the second, and then the final one would be Don Fasten, and I just realized that's more than 4 panels. But yeah, that was what I was planning, and I thought, okay, that's what I will do for this. I was late. I never made it for the 10th anniversary, so it will just be for my 10th anniversary instead, folks. But sadly, I realized that that was just no way that I could do it. I started too late, so you're not getting the big fan art that I planned. You're just getting Yuma with the ever posse at his side, because why not? I haven't drawn Yuma in, I think, over 10 years. I was checking in my history, and yeah, from what I can see, I've never drawn him on my YouTube channel. At least I don't think I haven't. I definitely don't remember it. And there was definitely no video to remember it, so if there was, I deleted it. I deleted a lot of my videos in the past because I used copyrighted music in it, and I would, like, pitch it up to avoid copyright, but then some of them started getting copyright, so to kind of, like, not have to worry about that in the future, I just either mute them or deleted them myself before YouTube could. So yeah, there's some videos down here that are not on here. So if I did draw Yuma, I deleted it. I did draw Kotori, and I think that was 6 years ago, maybe 7. I haven't drawn Kaito in 8 years, and I haven't drawn Ryoga. He's the one I've drawn the most on this channel. And I did him about, I think him was 6 years ago. So, yeah, I haven't drawn any of these characters in a real long time. I haven't drawn Astral ever. This was my first time, and he was a little bit hard, but for the most part, it was very fun to actually give it a try. Unlike the Duel Disks. Like, oh my goodness, those Duel Disks were so annoying. Like, it was such a struggle to draw Yumas, and by the time I was done, I thought, oh, I can rest, I'm done. And then I realized I had to do the same stupid thing for Ryoga, because his Duel Disk is the exact same, only even worse. It's at a different angle, so I couldn't even copy and paste it if I wanted to. Not that that would have been a good idea anyway. It would have been a horrible idea. So I guess it's better that I had to draw it again from scratch. But it was not fun. If I was one of the animators who had to work on those Duel Disks for every single episode, I would have stabbed myself with my tablet pen, because there was nothing fun about this whatsoever. I hated drawing them. They were such a pain, and I thank the dueling gods that Kotori isn't a duelist, because I didn't want to do any more, because I thought Kaito's would be easy, because it's definitely an easier shape, but then the reference sheet that I had, the image, it was like, well, that makes no sense. If you think it would be above, but it's like underneath, and I don't know, but that's just what I'm gonna do, because that's what it shows. So if it's wrong, it's because I followed the reference sheet, and the reference sheet was wrong then. Well, and by reference sheet, I mean it was more of just an image, a promotional image of Kaito, so it wasn't even like an official reference sheet. But yeah, anyway, like I said earlier, I've been a really big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever since I was a kid. I used to watch the original one as it aired. I only saw some episodes, though. The episodes that I remember most were the episode with Panic from the original Duel Monsters, the episode when Joey was controlled by Merrick, and they were, like, tied to an anchor, and then I think the duel that Seto did was Yugi, the first tag team that they did, and then a couple of episodes during the Waking the Dragons arc. My brother watched it more than I did, because our mom didn't want us watching it, because she was like, this seems a little too violent. I don't really want you guys seeing it. So it was just like, okay, we won't. And then I think it stopped airing on the channels that we got, because we didn't have the fancy satellite TV that all the other kids had. So we just got whatever we could. Maybe it did air. Maybe it did and I just missed it. I don't know. I forget. But we only saw like a few episodes. And then when we started getting really into... Like, this was before I started getting really into anime. Like, right before I started watching... like majorly into anime, we started, my brother started getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, and he was telling me about it, and it sounded interesting, so I watched the original one, and I really did like it, and then I just pretty much went on from there, and, yeah, I would say probably the only one I don't like still is GX. GX has always been my least favorite. I know a lot of people talk so fondly about it. I just find it a slog. I tried to rewatch it, and it was just boring me to tears, and I just could not even. 5Ds I actually used to hate, because everyone would always hype up 5Ds to the moon and back, and so many people hated ZEXAL when it came out because it was in such a drastically different direction. Yuma was way more immature compared to Yusei and not as cool, so ZEXAL just got a lot of hate, but from the American audience. So because of that, I just kind of hated 5Ds. as a response. Plus, I didn't like the way that Akiza was treated, or Aki, as she's known in the sub, and that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I didn't like how Carly was just kind of forgotten about, though later on I learned both of those were from very annoying reasons. Thanks, Kuro. Thanks, actors who got into a BDSM cult. Thanks. You ruined my characters. So, whatever. I just didn't like 5Ds, but then once I started slowing down on watching Yu-Gi-Oh, it was actually funny because 5Ds was actually the only ever Yu-Gi-Oh series I watched outside of ZEXAL. There was even a moment where I was watching it a little bit more than ZEXAL, like I just kind of took a break from ZEXAL, but I went back and watched a few episodes on 5Ds, and I was remembering them very fondly. So yeah, I don't like all of 5Ds, but I definitely do like some episodes, like the Signer arc, that was, the Dark Signer arc, that was really good. I don't really watch anything else besides that, though. ZEXAL, like I said, I loved it. I started watching around when Free came in, like when Free and 4 were introduced. I watched that with my brother, and then I got caught up to where he was, which was right when Harto got kidnapped by the Arclights. And then I ended up watching it as it aired in the dub, and then when we were waiting for the dub to come out, we started watching the sub, and that was actually one of the first animes I actually watched in the sub, and it was just so fun waiting for the episodes to come out. I really looked forward to them, and then it ended, and I got so sad, and just like, I wanted the journey to just go on forever, and it didn't. And because of that, I didn't really watch Arc V for a while, but then when I was like, okay, this actually looks pretty cool, I like the way it's going, because the one thing I always wanted in ZEXAL was some crossovers to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And Arc V looked like it was gonna do it, and so I was like, okay, that is really cool. I'm looking forward to this. And then Arc V dropped the ball so hard. And then I just was kind of like, maybe it will get better. And it never did. And then Reigns was like, okay, this looks interesting. I like Blue Angel's design. I like Playmaker's design. Well, I liked Yusaga's design. I didn't like Playmaker's design. I like the setup. It looks really dark and grim and stuff, and so it looks like it's a potential drama here. Okay. And then I think it was like that one, it was like, by the time season 1 ended, I was just like, okay, this is not gonna be good, because season 1, it just ended, and we already had like a gazillion recap episodes because of the production errors and such, and then it just was like, okay, and I just stayed with it because I was like, I was trying to see where this crap fest would end, and then when it did end, I was like, oh, well, I just wasted 3 years of my life, thanks. And then when Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s came out, I was like, oh, okay, this is targeting a very young audience. But nonetheless, I was going to draw the character Ramen, who's the female protagonist of that, and I was gonna just, do some fan art like I always did, and then I stopped midway, and I was like, maybe I'm too old for Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I just, stopped watching it outside of a few random episodes of ZEXAL and 5Ds here and there. But, later on, as I've become a cynical adult, I've been rewatching the series, specifically Duel Monsters, and it is funny, the things that I cringed about as a teenager, I was like, oh, this friendship stuff, it's so corny. I actually really like it now. It's corny. It really is. But at least it's sincere, and I'll take that over whatever we get nowadays. It's just funny how the things that you didn't like as an adult, as a teenager, you always tried to be so edgy and cool, and I'm too old for this, but then you're just like, I like it. And I've always liked Seto Kaiba. He's always, ZEXAL, always been my favorite anime. Duel Monsters, probably my second favorite out of all of them. But nonetheless, Seto Kaiba's always been my favorite character of all time. And I just love him. I love how brutal and mean he is.
So you've got a dweeb army. Am I supposed to be scared to attack?
Well, only if destroying an innocent soul concerns you.
Nah. As the president of a major corporation, I have to do that every day.
Even Mocha can get pretty annoying. He can be a pretty, well, not annoying, but pretty wicked at times. Yeah, that's the word to use, wicked. Because it's just like, and I always knew they umped up his ego in the dub, which I just love. But even in the sub, it's like, he literally makes a joke when they think Joey or Janotsuki in the sub might be dead. He's like, oh, where's the rest of your fan club? They couldn't not carry Joey's coffin up. And I'm like, holy crap, that's dark. He's such an asshole, and I love it. And there's never been a character like him. I actually like the Battle City arc probably the most out of all of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Then it would probably be the Waking Dragons arc and then the Millennial arc. Yes, I like the Waking Dragons arc. It's actually fun. But the Battle City one would definitely be my favorite. Both parts, part 1 and part 2. I like the virtual world a lot when I was a kid, but now as an adult, I was like, it's kind of getting in the way. I don't dislike it, but I probably like the Waking Dragons arc more now, which is funny because it used to be the opposite way around. Yeah, definitely like the Battle City arc. I think one thing I like about it is because you just get some really interesting duels. I mean, the duel between Seto and Yugi is the most interesting out of all the Yu-Gi-Ohs. I haven't seen Sevens. Like I said, that kind of made me swear. When Sevens came out, I really didn't swear, but I was just like, I'm not really into Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, so I gave it up. I wasn't watching it really, outside of random episodes. Then I got back into it, but then I was like, I still haven't seen Sevens. I might watch it one of these days. And isn't there one after Sevens? I actually forget. I think there is. I think it's Go Rush or something, whatever. I don't know. I do not know. But all I do know is that, I have not seen it, so the only ones I have seen are I've seen Season 0, I've seen Duel Monsters, GX, 5Ds, ZEXAL, and, Arc V and, Vrains. And if I was gonna rank them, it would go ZEXAL, then Duel Monsters, then 5Ds, then Arc V tied with GX. They both got their... Like, the beginning of Arc V is way better than GX, in my opinion. I just find it more entertaining, less dull. But the ending of GX is better. Way better. And, Vrains is dog crap, and I hate it. I hate everything about Vrains. It's not even on the list. I hate the ending. No one's going to make me believe that the ending was perfectly planned for Vrains. Like, no one's going to make me believe that, Aoi Zaizen wasn't originally supposed to be one of the experimented kids. Like, I'm sorry. I believe it was, and I believe it was changed. I don't care what you say. That's just the way I think. But, boy, it was just such a mess. I think, one funniest thing about the dub is that, that was another thing, too. I also really hated the dub, once I started getting into Arc V, because it was like, I just stopped watching the dub when Arc V came out, because it's like, I'm done with this. I stopped mid-ZEXAL, too. I didn't even watch, for a long time, I didn't even watch some episodes in the dub, because it's just like, I want to see the original intent, I don't want censored stuff, and I like the voice acting better in the sub. And, that's why I started watching the sub, but looking back at the dub, I actually am watching the Waking of the Dragons arc in the dub. I've still never seen it in the sub, and I probably will, but watching in the dub is easier when you're drawing, because that's when I was watching it as I drew, and, there's just some moments, like, you look up the videos, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dub out of context, and the funniest thing is that sometimes they'll try to make it, like, better, but then it's, like, worse. Like, they try to censor it to be not as dark, but when you really think about it, it's not. Like, a good example would be the character Raphael from the Waking Dragons arc. He, like, loses his parents and his siblings, they all die. He gets stranded on an island, and then when he comes back, he finds out that they died, and he's just, like, torn up with grief and such. But in the dub, they can't mention death. So instead they say that his family just forgot about him and moved on. How is that better? How is that better? If I was a kid, that would be terrifying. Your parents just move on and forget about you and have no interest in reconnecting in you? Reconnecting with you? Like, oh my goodness. Another thing I really liked about the dub is that they gave us some really good epic music. Like, I actually really do like the Duel Monsters opening, and then also the Egyptian god themes and the Seal of Orichalcos' theme. Like, they're really, really good, and I would actually download, like, high quality versions of those if they existed, but they don't. Because, like, they actually sound really good. Like, that was something that's you could never say. Like, nowadays, with all the censorship, I know it's a big thing in talking about an anime, and it's just driving me nuts how they want to change stuff, and I hate it. I hate it all. I don't even like talking about it because it's just like, it's just like, I hate it. But with the censorships with Yu-Gi-Oh, like, I didn't like it because it was changing it, and I wish we did get, like, the original intent and all that, and I wish the voice acting, at least for some of the voice actors, were better. I like Yugi's, and I like Seto's voice actor. I don't even mind Joey with the Brooklyn accent, but I do think that some of them could be better. But, like, especially Yuma's. Yuma's was probably the worst. But at least they put effort into it. Like, the amount of work they had to put to make you think that this person wasn't driving on the opposite side of the road. All to just sell the lie that they weren't in Japan. Like, oh my goodness, that took effort. That's a lot of work. And then also, there was like they would sometimes go and just, like in the case of Astral, they put glowy shorts on him just to make it look like he was a nude. And it was like, yeah, it's simple, but it still takes, like, it's still stuff that you have to do. Like, someone has to go in and do it, unlike ever animes where you just, like, you know, you dub it and then you're done. And they also made some pretty good music for it, too. Like, they made some good OST music. Like I said, the Egyptian god themes are really good. And so are the Seal of Orichalcos themes. I don't really remember the dub soundtrack for ZEXAL. Just mainly because I don't really watch the dub of ZEXAL. I just watched it a little bit recently because the YouTube channel for Yu-Gi-Oh's official page, like, airs the episodes live, and when I clicked on it, it was the duel between Kaito and Ryoga, or Shark and Kite. That's the weird thing about the dub. Like, that's the one thing I will say is that there are some moments where it's like, okay, the voice actors aren't that bad, because let's be honest, no one could make some of these lines work. So I'm not gonna blame it all on the voice actors. It's definitely the approach. But the dub is definitely an interesting thing. But I get a laugh out of it, and hey, if it makes me laugh and makes me entertained, that's what's most important, because so many shows now are just making me not entertained, and I don't like to waste my time on stuff that sucks, so I rather just watch something that's fun, and that's one thing I can definitely say about the original Yu-Gi-Oh! So that they're all very fun. So yeah, anyway, that was my thoughts on the Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, and that was my thoughts on ZEXAL in particular, and let's get back to talking about the art. Like I said, Astral was very fun to draw. Never done it before. I knew he would be very interesting coloring with his, like, blue skin and stuff, or I guess aqua. And then Yuma was really fun to color. Kaito, not so much. Like, I knew going into it that the designs were detailed for ZEXAL. I've always known that. But when you actually are drawing them, you're like, holy crap, this is actually really detailed. I actually had no idea. Like, it's not Genshin Impact level, but this is pretty detailed, especially for a long-running shonen. Like, there's a lot of details on these characters. So, it just kind of surprised me. And yeah, it's not high action like My Hero Academia or something, but still, it's like, wow. I was actually impressed, because I don't see, I'm not going to say there's none, and I haven't watched every single anime, but there isn't that many characters with patterns on their pants like Yuma. I actually like his shorts, because they look like a mix between flames, but also like crescent moons. That was something that was fun, and I just kind of realized that. I also like even there was the D on his shirt, not short, and his shirt, like, that's just something, you don't really see that on characters. Again, I'm not saying there's no characters like it, it's just not a common thing, because it's hard to animate, and a lot of people don't want to do that. So yeah, I actually really do like the designs of ZEXAL. Even Kaito, I like his design a lot. And I'm not really big on characters with spiked hair like that. But nonetheless, I like his. And I like all the characters in ZEXAL. I don't think there's really... Besides maybe Flip. I forget his Japanese name. It was more harder to remember than Flip. I just like all the characters. They're all very fun, and I like the adventures that they go on. And yeah, I didn't really know what to do as the background, so I just did a pattern and just kind of went from there with some like energy behind them. Also, I will have to say, I'm sorry if there were some moments where it just kind of skipped ahead. Like in my usual fashion, I ended up pushing pause because I had to do something, and then when I come back, I forgot to push play, and then I noticed, like, after I've done already 5 everythings. So sometimes I had to go back, and sometimes there was no point. It was like, I just had to resume, and you guys had to miss it. So sorry about that. Anyway, that was the drawing. I hope you've enjoyed. If you liked, do all the YouTube things. If you did not like, thank you so much for watching this far anyway. It makes me really happy. I will be back with another drawing, hopefully real soon, and also a live stream tomorrow. And so stay tuned for that. More 10th anniversary stuff awaits. And until then, I will be doing a whole lot of editing. Yeah, so bye! One more edit plus bonus karaoke, because why not? Let's go! Da-dun, 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 da-dun. If life is a game, they say I can win. I'll never amount to nothing. Tear me down before my life begins. I won't be afraid to challenge myself. They won't ever break my fire. My dreams won't die if I high-fi the sky. Spread my wings, take off. It's time to fly. Take a chance to make it all the way. Take a chance forgetting yesterday. Take a chance with me. Nothing will bring me down, no retreat when I leave all my fears behind. My future's still alive inside. Take a chance and chase my doubts away. Believing gets me through my darkest days. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Take a chance to make it all the way. Take a chance forgetting yesterday. Take a breath, my heart will lead the way. Take a chance, I'll take a chance today. Da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Still together as one, 'cause divided we're none. Ready to go, we feel the flow. So don't stand in our way, you know we ain't afraid. This is our time, we're in control. If I trip up today, you'll just wipe it away. All of my fears are gone erased. Let us tear down the walls till the final night falls. The bonds of our souls can't be replaced. Let us fight together, regret it never. Our dreams will be halfway to forever. Our light comes shining through. Reach down deep, beat defeat, do all that we can do. Halfway to forever, we got nothing to lose. Keep breathing, believing, halfway to forever. Woo! Good night, Heartland! Now you guys see why I stopped singing. My mouth kept filling up with spit. I could barely get through it. Oh boy. Goodbye.
Stinks. Yuma stinks.
Say what?
Relax. This litter bot is not trying to insult you. He is simply stating a fact.